Now, 13 people have been killed after 2 buses crashed in eastern Argentina. 34 people were also injured in the head-on collision. The vehicles were full of passengers when they crashed into a ditch near the city of Rosario. Investigators are working to establish the cause of the accident, which happened on a level road and under good weather conditions. Both drivers were killed. Now, the crew of a non-profit abortion boat are to be expelled from Guatemala. Authorities say the activists lied by applying for tourist visas, and they will not be allowed to work in the country. The Dutch group Women on Waves offers free abortion services to women in countries where the procedure is banned. It takes women in the early stages of pregnancy out to international waters where the termination is performed. Abortion is only allowed in Guatemala when the mother's life is at risk. Well, we're heading for a short break now, but there's plenty more still ahead, including a review of the day's newspapers. Do also stay tuned at all this weekend for special reports from our team in Los Angeles, who will be bringing you the glitz and glamour from this year's Oscars.
Our customers are focused, versatile, superheroes. Our customers are also the most important people in our world. So we listen, partner, and give solutions that make a difference in their world. At First Bank, we will always put you first.
You first. First Bank.
The best way to predict the future is to create it. There's a special breed of achievers out there that are called tomorrow's people, the highly creative ones who live in the future. They imagine what will be and strive to make it happen. They're bold. They refuse to wait for the future. Tomorrow bends and conforms to their ideas. At Access Bank, we share the same sentiments. We've been able to grow our bank to become a leading player in Nigeria with a strong presence across the continent, adopting best practice in everything we do. Our mantra for success is simple: speed, service, and security. Those who shape tomorrow, strive for, and demand perfection. At Access Bank, our service culture of speedy response and drive for excellence is the blueprint for creating customer experiences that will echo for generations. Come, let's work together and take tomorrow.
This is Arise News from Abuja, Nigeria. You're watching This Day Live with me, Charles Anyegondo. Let's take a look now at the stories making the headlines in some of the world's leading national newspapers this Saturday morning with our news analyst, John Fashanu. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you, Charles.
This day newspaper, of course, a new governor sworn in Nigeria's Ondo state. Is he making the usual promises, or is there more substance there?
Well, Rotimi Akeredolu, sworn in. He's promising, like most of them, to change the government, welfare. I believe him. Social welfare, social security. I have a fact that, I don't know him very well, but I've seen him several times, and I think he's somebody who's a little bit straighter. And of course, doesn't mean anything now, but he's a SAN lawyer.
Right, but of course this is the usual rhetoric you get when a governor, it doesn't matter which part of the world, I mean, when a politician takes over, they make promises, and then I suppose in 100 days to a year you begin to assess.
You see the change, yeah. I mean, he's talking about infrastructure, he's talking about changing the economy, everybody joining hands. But I mean, Charles, the turnout for the inauguration was tremendous, from Tinubu to Bukhari Saraki to everybody there. So it was a very exciting time.
Well, they're all party members. But let's move on.
APC.
The Daily Mirror, the UK's Daily Mirror, back page, has a sports story on the continuing saga of Claudio Ranieri.
We footballers, we call the back page the front page because we always go to it. But it's it's the UK Daily Mirror. You're nuts. That's Mourinho of course, the Manchester United manager,
Right.
referring
Jose
to
Mourinho.
referring to the Leicester City board,
Right.
and he's saying you should be naming a stadium after Ranieri, not sacking him. Referring to Ranieri, the manager for Leicester City, who of course last year won the Premiership, and this year are at the bottom of the league and
Yeah.
being sacked.
Yeah, it's a story that's been obviously beaten to death now.
Yes,
But I mean, it's a fascinating
Yes,
one, isn't
yes.
it? Now let's stay in the UK though. The Times newspaper reporting that David Miliband, who's a prominent
Yes.
member of the opposition Labour Party, whose brother
Brother
Edward was
Edward,
of
the
course
leader,
a former
of
leader,
course.
has lambasted the current leader Jeremy
Oh,
Corbyn. Tell
yes,
us
he
more.
has. Well, he's made it very clear that, as far as he's concerned, that Labour are in the worst position that they have ever been in, and that's well, indictment really is on Jeremy Corbyn, the leader now. So, you know, to have somebody like David Miliband who says that, who of course is a very strong and well-known leader in the party, it's not too good for Jeremy at
No,
all.
absolutely not. But then Jeremy is going to say that that is a part of the continuing sort of
Battle.
that he's
Yes.
essentially had with the
Yes.
Labour leadership.
Yes, he has.
But that if you go to the grassroots, you'll see that he does actually command considerable support, in
Yes.
fact, overwhelming support. And that is a
Yes,
fact.
definitely. And I think anyway, there's not really much you can do when you have somebody like the two Edwin and David, the brothers. They're very
Edward,
popular brothers,
yeah.
Edward, and very powerful in the party.
No, absolutely. Now let's talk about, well, Donald Trump. shall
We always do, Charles.
Yeah.
Yes.
UK Independent.
Yes.
Mr.
Lovely
Trump's
headline.
war against the media has
Yes.
moved into higher gear.
Yes, I mean, enemies of the people. Trump launches a fresh attack on the media. Is it fresh? I thought it's been a continuation of attack,
that's a
attack,
point.
attack.
But he's kind of taken it to a higher level.
Yes, he
because
has,
now
yes.
some media houses have actually been banned
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Well, I think he had to, and I think that during his campaign, he made it very clear that if I win, I'm going to make changes in the media.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, the BBC, for instance. I mean,
honestly.
CNN, New York
Yes,
Times.
yeah,
you know, I
yeah.
can't speak for the American sort of
You can for the
networks,
BBC.
but certainly for the BBC. I mean,
Yes.
it's a very objective news
Yes, I
organisation.
think so. But where does he go from here? If you ostracize the media, where do you go? Where's your second platform? I don't think he's got one. So I think he might put himself in a corner, and we're going to see something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I suppose this is
happen.
his way of saying that I'm not happy with what's going on, because
Yes.
he knows that they will continue to report about what he's doing,
Yes.
but he's not going to give them direct access to himself.
Yes. But you see, Charles, it's like anything. You need the media. The president needs the media need the president. It's a
Absolutely.
working
I agree with
organisation. So great headline, but please, Donald, slow down.
John, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you,
John
Charles.
Fashadu, our news analyst there. Now to Brazil, where the country's oldest artificial lake has dried up to become a cemetery for turtles, a symbol of the ecological disaster hitting the country's northeast in its worst drought in a century. Rachel Rogers reports.
It's the oldest dam in Brazil, but in the last few months, it's become a graveyard for turtles. Northeastern Brazil hasn't had sufficient rain for 5 years. There used to be the equivalent of 50,000 Olympic pools here. Today, not even a drop remains at the Cedro Dam.
When we came hiking here 9 months ago, there was still a lot of water, a lot of animals and birds.
Levy and his friends are biology students, analyzing the consequences of the drought on plants and animals. They've found 439 turtle shells here, but that's just one part of the ecological disaster.
A lot of animals have died, amphibians, mollusks, fish. There used to be a lot of fish here, of many species.
Dozens of fishermen, like Antonio and Francisco, have seen their source of income evaporate. Fishing had allowed them to supplement their farmers' pensions, but it's been months since they stopped going out in a boat.
We each caught 30 to 40 kilograms a day. We sold them here and nearby.
No more fish, and no more visitors either. The few who do come to this touristic site recall how it used to be heavenly.
It was a good source of revenue for the community. There was tourism. The less fortunate would sell tapioca pancakes, and there were parties on Saturdays and Sundays. A lot of people came to appreciate how nice it was.
The situation at the Cedro Dam is far from the exception. In Ceará State in northeast Brazil, hit by the worst drought in a century, more than half of the 153 water reservoirs are either totally dry or on their way.
We're heading for a short break now, but there's plenty more still ahead, including all the business news. And do also stay tuned all this weekend when our team in Los Angeles will be bringing you the latest from the red carpet of the 89th Academy Awards.